on.
Well, we didn't change shirts, but we changed backgrounds.
Oh, you know what I could do? I know how much you love this hat.
No. Do you have the one with the propeller? I really like that one.
You know, I don't own that one. You actually put that on me in post-production, which I never gave you permission to do that.
I'm going to get one and with a little motor in it, so the propeller.
That'll be fine. I will accept that as a gift from you. Nothing else, though. I don't want to hug.
What have you been doing in the last 5 minutes since we met last?
Hey, I just got back from Acadia. We did back-to-back Acadia tours. You know what? As I was there, I was thinking about you because I was thinking how much you would love all that color.
Yeah. Well, if I was doing a calendar for my family, I'd probably gravitate towards something like that.
Actually, I just posted it today, and I think I sent it to you, right? When there was a brief text interchange. Did you see that image I put of the lily pads? I thought I sent that to you and Dawn when we were having a conversation.
I don't recall that.
Okay.
Was it good?
Oh my gosh, it's probably rises to my top 5 images I've ever created that I'm in love with.
Black and white or color?
I shot it with infrared, so you would not know the difference. You could have shot it in color and made the same image because it could have made the water black. Oh, you know what? I'll pull it up in one of these shows coming up.
Hey, speaking of infrared, before we go on, let's do a little shout out to our friend Sherry May down in Colorado Springs, who sounds like she'll be joining us in Out of Chicago Live. Now, she's not committed to it, but you didn't hear that?
No.
Yeah,
is she going to be an instructor?
Yeah.
Oh, now, that's fantastic.
She hasn't accepted, so this will kind of force her, because after we've announced it, how can she say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to do it"?
And I'm assuming she'll do a presentation on infrared.
That was my assumption. That seems to be her assumption.
Oh my gosh, that would be fabulous. If you don't know Sherry Mabes on Instagram, folks, she's Starlit Waltz. I'll put it in the comments below.
Okay.
I hope I can figure that out.
Congratulations to Sherry.
Yeah.
Another one of our friends who are doing great things in photography.
And so, speaking of that, I got to find, I had a thought. Now I just lost the stupid thought.
Do I have to remind it to you? It's not going to look very set up.
I think I hear somebody coming into my office. Who is that? Oh my gosh, wait a minute. Let me get this off of this. Hang on, Cole. Whoops. Shoot. Oh, look.
There is.
I got to get this off here so we don't.
There's a ghost.
There is a ghost. I'm disappearing.
I got to get rid of this virtual background.
Back.
How do I get rid of that virtual blur? Choose virtual background.
I think you go to that.
Oh yeah, you got to go to choose virtual background and then you hit none.
Yeah.
Okay,
there we go. She stays close to you. She stays there.
She was up in Acadia with me too. Nice to see you, honey. How you doing?
Nice to see you too.
No way. She was there at the same time you were. What a coincidence.
And I brought her home with me.
I hope your wife doesn't find out.
Yeah.
If she does, it's going to be big trouble.
So you had something to share, did you?
Yeah, I did. Cole.
Don't start on the double spread thing, please. No.
Why would I do that?
Oh, two-page spread, Cole.
It's a 2-page spread. Why would I do that?
How many of the images, honey?
16 images.
All of them. Unbelievable, Cole.
I'm telling you.
What magazine, honey?
Lenswork.
Lenswork. Yeah.
How do you feel about the number 8?
I think number 8 is nice, but it's just half of 16.
Oh, look how red he's getting at the shameless plug. Oh, great! Now you've got your grand.
Oh, look at that! All right, we don't want to ruin this recording. We're actually recording right now, Abby. This is my granddaughter, Abby.
You're on our show.
Let's say hello. Okay, we got to go back to our show. People are going to be bored to tears.
It was nice seeing you, Cole. I hope you get 16 next time.
All right, we'll go different background. Here we are. So we were talking about something before that all happened, but the question that it was reminding me of, if your number one concern is technical perfection, this is something you've said. If your number one concern is technical perfection, you've already failed. And so I guess what I want to know is what you mean by that exactly. I think I know, but we've really not spent some time thinking about that.
Well, there's one of those sayings that, what you think about is what you become. And if you're so focused on technical perfection, that means that everything else is less important. And to me, as a photographer who seeks to express himself, it really has not a lot to do with technical perfection. Now, technical perfection is great and necessary in certain types of photography. But again, if you're trying to express yourself, if you're trying to find your vision, if you're trying to say something, then that should be your primary concern. And I must tell you that sharpness is overrated. Certainly, I have a number of images of mine that might not be as good as they are if they were sharper.
Oh, interesting.
So I really think that vision and self-expression should be your number one goal. And I remember I've told the story, but I want to tell it again. We're on the dunes, and we're shooting across the dunes, compressing many layers using a long lens. And this girl who was on our tour, I think she probably had like a 400 or a 500 millimeter.
Yep, long lens.
She couldn't figure out how to get all of the dunes sharp like mine were. And I said, well, what's your aperture? And she goes, f8. And I go, oh, you got to stop down to f22 or whatever, 32, whatever your max, is. And she goes, oh, no, I can't do that because f8 is my optimal aperture for sharpness.
Right.
And, my impression was that she would rather be at optimal sharpness and miss the shot rather than stop down to f32 and get the shot, because there's this theoretical improvement in sharpness, of course, at f8 versus f32. But in the real world, it means nothing. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm with you, and that expression of sharpness is overrated. I think it's been around for a while. I don't think, you or I have coined that phrase, because it's really true. And the image that I refer to a lot when I'm having that discussion in a club atmosphere or what have you is your angel Gabriel. Gabriel is not sharp in the least.
And it wouldn't be good if it were.
Honestly, it wouldn't be as good, right? But even more so, Cole, the first time I saw that, I didn't even register. It wasn't even part of my thought process that, oh, Angel Gabriel's not sharp, which leads me to my next comment. Don't you find it interesting, and I'll even go so far as to say sad, when somebody looks at your photograph and they say something like, hey, Angel Gabriel's not sharp. If only he was sharp. Hey, you cut that, your horizon in half. Or, hey, that doesn't follow the rule of thirds, meaning they're seeing through this lens of rules that, we've spoken about, and we've even made t-shirts that rules are for fools. But that's how they're seeing. So they're not, to me, the act of viewing somebody else's images shouldn't have anything to do with any of that. It shouldn't be part of your thinking.
It emphasizes what is important to them.
Well, I guess it does, doesn't
it? And it is interesting if you're at a gallery opening or something, you're showing your work, and to hear people's comments or their questions, because it tells you where their head is at. Yeah. Like my friend who is a landscape photographer, and he's big into sharpness, and he was surprised when he looked at Migrant Mother by Dorothea Lange and said, hey, I never realized this, but I looked at it and it's out of focus. And if you look at the image, she's got her focus point over on the shoulder, not on the woman's face.
Interesting.
And that's what he saw. But at least he did say to me, basically, that it didn't matter. It didn't destroy the image. It wasn't important. And I hope that was a aha moment for him, that sharpness is relevant to the image and what you're trying to achieve. I mean, you look at your image behind you, sharpness there is very nice. And of course, with the high contrast of the grid and the windows, even an unsharp image would look sharp, perceptually sharp.
Yes.
So if you would have shot that at f16 and somebody was saying, oh, John, that could have been a lot sharper if you had shot that at the optimal aperture.
Right.
It shows where their head's at. Right.
And, to wrap up, the story of Nancy Rotenberg, my dear friend and mentor, this was early digital, so she probably had a Nikon D100 or whatever it was. It was the first. So she had that, but she had her film camera, and we were at a workshop setting, and she's showing this beautiful print, big, 16 by 24 print, big. And the guy's looking at the print and he goes, oh my gosh, Nancy, this is fantastic. And he goes, was this shot digital or film? And she says, do you like it? Oh, like it. I love it. And she never answered the question,
yeah.
which I thought was very instructive, because
Yeah.
what difference does it make? Now, look, I understand it was early digital, and so you're trying to convince yourself, do I too want to go out and buy a digital camera? I'm worried about buying a digital camera. Is it going to be as good as film? Right. But I thought her comeback was excellent. Do you like it? And it's the same thing. People talk about an iPhone image versus a DSLR. What does it matter? You've made incredibly good gallery worthy images with your iPhone that you've shown in your presentation. It mattereth not. I don't care if you make it with a pinhole freaking camera. You know, if that's the tool that you can use to meet what your express vision of that is, have at it.
And here's two questions for our viewers. When you go and look at an image, what is the first thing that you notice?
Yeah.
And if it's technical, here's my question. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Yeah. And there might be a good reason, like the one I just said. You want to know, is digital good? But I think it's like we're encouraging people to self-evaluate and self-critique their imagery. Same thing. Stop and ask yourself, why am I being so critical of the rule of thirds not being followed here? You know, why am I so critical that it's not tack sharp? You know, what can I maybe come at this in a different way and see what the artist was trying to convey with these flaws, which maybe not be flaws at all. But anyways,
okay.
chat. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Okay.